It's December 2023, and this is Crown and Comments. I'm your host, Cruiseman. Let's get started.
And welcome to yet another episode of Crown and Comments with your host and resident Goldwing guru, the one, the only, Cruiseman. Brought to you by Cruisemansgarage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Videos.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Crown and Comments, December 2023. I'm Cruiseman, and tonight we've got quite a few things to cover, some old business, some new business. Before I even get started, how do you like the t-shirt? It basically says, maintain your obsession. This is a pre-production version, but they are now available. I say they're available. You can't buy these actually right now. They're only available. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later in another segment, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the t-shirts? They come in 3 different styles. One has the shadow wing like this one here. One has the shadow bagger. One actually has a new design, the shadow GL. And that is for those of you that have a 2012 to 2017 Honda Goldwing. You could probably get away with it if you have a 2001 to 2012 also, or 2011, or 10, I guess it was. First off, let me tell you a little bit about Crown and Comments. If you're new to the show, this is where I sit down once a month, and it started out where I just went through your comments. Then it kind of grew into a multi-segment show where usually I talk about various things in the motorcycle industry, or I might just get off topic altogether and talk about whatever I want. I got such a positive response on my rant that I did a couple of months ago about, I believe it was about electric vehicles.
You got to see this. There's a Tesla owner who's been stuck with a fiery mess after his car caught fire not once, but twice on the same day. Take a look. It happened in Los Gatos yesterday. The owner of that Tesla Model S was driving when he got a flat tire. His car was towed to a shop where it then burst into flames.
I have another topic that I'm going to rant on later on. I'm not going to tip my hat, as it were. Let me know in the comments what you think of the t-shirt. Second of all, I by the way, I'm using notes. I'm not using a teleprompter for this. I just kind of wing it. I just have some bullet points to make sure to remind me what I need to talk about in the show. Little update on the air conditioning and heating for my garage. As some of you know, planning to install a mini split air conditioner, and that is progressing. I have a friend who was in the air conditioning business for years, but over the years he became a friend too. And he was always working on my air conditioning systems, and he has agreed to help me install this mini split. Honestly, he's probably doing most of the work, but I'm there to help. And the other day we got what they call a cassette that goes in the ceiling, and that's where basically the air, the return air, and the air actually comes out of those vents. And we didn't have enough of the connection stuff that we needed for the copper lines and all that stuff. We had to order more. I had to order 25 feet more because I've got a long distance to cover to get to the outside compressor unit. I think it's a compressor unit. I don't know anything about air conditioners. But anyway, that has been ordered. Won't be until next week. So we probably, hopefully, if everything goes perfectly, if the planets align, all the stars are out, and my friend's available to help me. He has asked to remain nameless because he's basically retired, and he doesn't really want to do this anymore. He's ready to retire. I kind of drug him out of retirement, I guess you could say. Once that's done, hopefully I will have a heated and air-conditioned garage where I can actually do more work through the winter when the weather's bad, and get more videos done. And I have a lot of stuff planned. As far as an update on a couple of you have asked how the Invisalign thing is going, my teeth aligners, I've got them in right now. And that's why I cannot drink my Crown Royal. If you wondered what Crown and Comments meant, if you're new to the show, it's because this is when you're supposed to get your favorite adult beverage, whether that be an alcoholic beverage or tea, coffee, doesn't matter what it is. And you're supposed to sit back and relax and just enjoy this show. Nothing too serious. And normally during the show, I would have my Crown Royal, which I have with me tonight, but it's just a prop for now because I can't drink anything with these aligners in other than water. Who the hell wants to drink water, right? But I still have it here in honor of the crown. You have to honor the crown. And so that's why I have it here on set with me. I'm in week 5 of wearing these Invisalign aligners. This is the 5th week. It's going actually a little better than I anticipated. It doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would. I thought my gums or my teeth would be I'd have more soreness and much more discomfort. It really isn't too bad. It's still a little bit of a hassle taking them in and out. And I'll tell you what, you tend to eat less because you got to take them out every time you try to eat something, and it's easier to just leave them in and say, hell with it, I'll eat later. Because you're supposed to wear them 22 hours a day. Now, to be honest with you, don't tell anybody, please. I'm not wearing them 22 hours a day. I'm probably wearing them about 20 hours a day. So maybe 21. What do we have coming up? In the future, I'm going to be reviewing the traction tip-over protection. If all goes well, I think I've got a donor bike for this, and I'll explain to you when I do that video why I'm not putting the traction tip-over protection on my own personal Goldwing. It's not because I don't like it. It's not because I have a problem with it. I have a very good reason, and I think you'll understand. But I think I have a donor bike, and we will hopefully be installing and showing you how we install it, and then we'll give you a little review of it. Also, we'll be reviewing the Insta360 Ace Pro. This is their new top-of-the-line action camera, and I'm going to be reviewing this for its use for motovlogging, obviously, because right now I'm using a combination of a GoPro and I use a Insta360 X3 on my handlebar. I will be testing out this Insta360 Ace Pro, and I will be reviewing and testing very shortly. Probably in a few days, you'll get the video for the Insta360 Go 3. Really cool little tiny camera that you can stick just about anywhere and get some really interesting shots. We're finishing up, or will be finishing up, my review of the Sena Meshport Red, which is a device that lets you bridge between a mesh network of Sena communicators and a Bluetooth camera such as the GoPro Hero 12. If you have a GoPro 12 and you're a motovlogger and you want to be able to record the audio from a group ride, I'm going to show you how this Sena Meshport Red makes it really simple and elegant, assuming it works. But Robert and I are probably going to do a ride. He's got a Sena also, and we're going to see how it records this group conversation. The only issue I noticed, and I'm trying to figure out how to compensate for this, is the volume level was really, really low. And I'm hoping that once I hook it all up again, I can figure out maybe in the GoPro how to increase the audio level so that it brings that level up a little bit, because I really had to boost those levels. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about some big changes coming to my Honda Goldwing maintenance video series. Some of it good news, some of it not so good. Well, welcome back to Crown and Comments, December 2023. I'm your host, Cruiseman, and now we're going to talk about my Honda Goldwing maintenance video series. Now, this is not a sales pitch. You guys, if you've watched the show before, you pretty much know about my maintenance videos. You know they exist. You've either purchased them or you haven't purchased them for whatever reason. But some of you are new. Some of you may be new to the Goldwing world. Maybe you're new to my channel. And let me briefly tell you what's going on. I've put this off as long as I can. I really resisted the temptation to go to a subscription type of model but which is the way all software companies now are going, which is the way a lot of businesses are going. And I absolutely, it just makes my skin crawl every time somebody tries to hit me up for a subscription where I have to pay so much per month for something. Used to be you just bought the software, and the biggest example is QuickBooks. I've been using QuickBooks for probably 20 years. And now if you want to upgrade to QuickBooks, you have to subscribe. You have to pay so much a month, and it's not cheap. It used to be every 2 or 3 years, I would upgrade to the next version of QuickBooks. It might cost me a couple $100, no big deal. But I refuse to pay a subscription fee. And not only the subscription fee in the case of QuickBooks, I don't want all my data on their server. I like having my accounting data on my computer that I know is backed up, that if it gets hacked, it's my fault. I can't control whether or not Intuit gets hacked, and now all my information is out there for the world to see. Anyway, it bothers me. Adobe started this crap with Photoshop and all their products, and I'm just against it. I won't buy Adobe products for that reason. I pretty much won't buy any software that requires a subscription. So I have avoided going down that road with my maintenance videos because sure, it'd be great if I had a constant stream of income. If I said to you, to get maintenance videos now, you have to pay $19.95 a month or whatever. And, I just don't want to do that. So what I've had to do, unfortunately, is I'm having to raise the price starting January 1. And I'll just tell you what it's going to be involved. And the reason I'm doing this is because inflation is out of sight. I would say most of the things that I've been buying lately are anywhere from 20% all the way up to 100% more expensive than they were just a couple of years ago. I just had some electrical work done in the garage for this new air conditioning system. And the installer that did the job told me, he said, I bought the parts to do your job. If we had done this 2 years ago, it would have been $70. Now it's $160. Now, in case you're not good at math, I'll tell you that's more than the 3 to 5% inflation they keep talking about on the news, and that our lovely politicians want to convince you is the rate of inflation. The rate of inflation is through the roof. Maybe they don't include electrical components in their calculations. I know they don't include food and they don't include energy, which are two of the biggest things that have gone up. And when inflation goes up on things like food or things like electronics or things like cars, we were looking at getting a new car. And basically the exact same car we have now, but the 2023 model. The 2020 model that we have now, we paid, I think, about $38,000 for, which I thought at the time was ridiculously high. And to replace that car with the same exact car, same exact specifications right now, $52,000. So it went from $38,000 to $52,000. That's not 3 to 5% inflation. Okay? Homeowners insurance this year it doubled. It more than doubled. I think we paid $2,100 last year. We paid almost $5,000 this year. Okay, so all of these things, you add them all up, and basically what it says is, I've got to raise my prices. I can't keep doing this. So for 2024, my 2018 to 2024 Goldwing maintenance videos will be $299. Now that's still about the same price that you might pay for some decorative LED light kit on your motorcycle. So it's not like, and you can use these forever. You can download them as many times as you need. You can stream them in full HD as many times as you need. I'm going to keep the deal the same. New videos you get at no extra charge. Do you know when I first came out with a video series, there were only like 32 or 33 videos. Now there's 80. So everybody that bought back in 2019 got all those new videos and they didn't have to pay anything extra. Who else does that? What other kind of business works like that? But that's the deal. $299, starting in 2024. So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you're planning on buying the videos, if you buy them before the end of the year, you can still get the 2023 price, which I think is $249. So you're saving $50 by buying now instead of waiting till January 1. Now, my 2001 to 2017 Goldwing videos, there's fewer videos in that series. It's going to be $189. Right now it's $149. So you can save $40 by buying before the end of the year. And I'm adding a new option for the 5th generation Goldwing, the 2001 to 2017. You're now going to have the option. I'm testing this. I want to see how well this works. But right now you have the option. You can rent the videos for 30 days for $49. We'll see how that goes. So, but if you purchase the videos, either the 2001 to 2017 or the 2018 to 2024, in the month of December, you get a free Maintain the Obsession t-shirt. And the way it works is when you purchase the videos, you're basically purchasing this through a company called Vimeo. They host the videos, they serve the videos and all that, and they handle the financial transaction. Unfortunately, when you purchase the videos, they send me nothing. I get no email address. I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. Why they do it that way, I don't know. I just don't know, but that's the way they do it. So I rely on you after you've made your purchase to email me a copy of the receipt that you get from Vimeo. You'll get an email from them with a receipt showing the date of purchase, how much you paid. If you'll send me that, you email me that to the email address I'll put on the screen below, and I'll put it in the description of the video too. But if you'll email me that receipt, then I have a proof of purchase and I'll have your email address. I will then reply to that email, and in that email will be a link, a URL. You click on that and it'll take you to my shop, my merchandise website, where you can order your free t-shirt. You can pick what size you want, all that stuff, and it will be shipped out to you free of charge. Okay, that's how that works. I know it's a little complicated. I apologize. I've been trying for years, 10 years, to get Vimeo to at least let me know the email address, or at least let the customers opt in to letting me know the email address. They just won't do it. They don't care. I must be their smallest client. I don't know. Okay, so you get the free t-shirt and you get 2023 pricing if you order before the end of the year. That's enough on maintenance videos. Okay, when we come back after this very short, timely break that helps pay for all this, my rant. You're not going to want to miss this month's rant. Welcome back to Crown and Comments, December 2023. I'm Cruiseman, and I want to let you know about a little feature that YouTube has called Super Thanks. And you'll see it at the bottom of the video. And basically what Super Thanks is a way, if you click on that, you can basically send me money. Okay, you're saying, I guess, that I love Cruiseman, whatever. You don't have to say that, but I'm saying it's a way for you to send me a gratuity, as it were. And you should do that. All my new videos are going to have a screen come up at the very beginning asking you to click on Super Thanks and send me money before you get to watch the video. And really, whether you like the video or not. So, how do you feel about that? Tell me in the comments down below. How would you respond to that sort of a system? Okay, that brings me to my topic. By the way, everything I just told you, except that Super Thanks does exist, about paying up front and all that, is BS. I'm trying to illustrate a point, and that is about tipping, and that's the topic of tonight's rant. I think that tipping has gotten way out of control, and it's really I've been talking about this with Don and Robert and other people. It's going nuts. Everybody's got their hand out now wanting a tip. First of all, let me say, I don't have a problem tipping people. I think I'm a pretty good tipper. I'll give you an example. I go to coffee every Sunday with Don and Robert at Awake. And we have a waiter who's been waiting on us for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years now. His name's Orlando. Great guy. Great waiter. And a lot of times all I'll have is a cup of coffee. Sometimes I'll have a side order of bacon. I don't usually eat while we're there. I'm just there for the fellowship and to talk, but I will have coffee. And I don't even know how much the coffee is. I think a lot of times Orlando doesn't even charge me for the coffee sometimes. But I still put down a $5 bill every time, just because Orlando's taken his time to wait on us, take care of us. And I'm sure Don and Robert tip also. I'm a pretty good tipper in that case because Orlando's, bringing us stuff. He's taking our order. He's doing stuff. But there's a lot of places I go where they're really not providing any real service, but they still want a tip, especially the iPad thing, which I hate, where they flip that little iPad around and the first thing it asks is, how much do you want to tip? There's a sandwich shop that I go to where you place your order, Panera Bread, and you place your order on a little iPad thing and they haven't done anything yet. They haven't made the sandwich. You haven't got your sandwich. They haven't done anything yet. They haven't screwed up your order yet. And they want a tip. What do you want? 15, and they start at 15. Sometimes they start at 20%, but they start at 15, 20, 25, it goes up from there. Fortunately, they have the little option for no tip, which is usually what I select now. I didn't used to. I used to be intimidated by the little iPad thing, but I'm not anymore. I'm kind of pissed off about it now, and I'm offended by it. And what really set me off the other day was when DoorDash, I don't know if any of you have DoorDash in your area. We use it here. It's basically a food delivery service, one of the other companies that made billions off of the pandemic. But nevertheless, we started using it. We've been using it. And I pay $9.99 a month, I think, for what they call Dash Pass, which is you're supposed to get free delivery. They don't charge you for delivery if you order more than $12. Well, you can't order anything under $12. Hell, 2 hamburgers is $35. So, that's pretty much a given that you're going to get free delivery. Okay, but they still charge you service fees and taxes and other things. Okay, DoorDash comes out with a statement the other day that says if you don't pre-tip your driver, but when you place your order, before you get the food, before they've even made the order, if you do not pre-tip your driver, we can't guarantee that you're going to get your order in a timely manner. In other words, what they're saying is, the driver can look at the list of orders and say, well, this guy's tipping $10. I'll take him his food first. This guy's only tipping $2. He can wait. His food can sit in my car and get cold while I deliver this guy's food. And if you don't tip at all, who knows if you get your food? I was so offended by them saying that. And I have always pre-tipped the DoorDash drivers. I always do the tip online. I don't tip what they suggest because what they suggest is ridiculous. For example, let's say we order our $30 hamburger, but by the time they add their fees and taxes, now it's up to, say, $37. They want me to tip 20 or 25% on the total amount, including the taxes and fees. I'm not going to tip on the taxes and fees. I'm only going to tip on the food amount. And so I usually have to go in and adjust and set my own rate. And I generally don't ever tip more than maybe $4.50. It doesn't, I mean, y'all are going to have to help me here. Am I just getting old and cheap, or which may be possible? Both things can be true, by the way. I can still be right and be old and cheap. But is any of this bothering you, all this tipping business? I went to get a donut the other day. Ricky wanted a couple of glazed donuts. So I stop at Shipley's. I'm on the motorcycle. I stop at Shipley's and I get 2 glazed donuts, which now are $3. It's $1.50 for a friggin' donut. Used to be able to get a dozen donuts for $3. Now you're lucky if you can get 2. And they got a can mounted to the outside of the window. Now all this girl is doing is getting 2 glazed donuts and handing them to me through a window. And they want a tip for that? You got to be kidding me. And, you know, even when I go to Einstein's in the morning and all I'm getting is coffee, I even bring my own cup. The girl doesn't even have to reach over to get a cup and hand it to me. All she has to do is take my money. That's it. My $1.94, I know exactly how much it is because I bring my own cup. They have a thing at Einstein's where if you get a refill instead of a cup of coffee, it's a little cheaper if you bring your own cup. That's what I do. So I go pour my own coffee. I have to walk over to the self-service drip machine and get the coffee myself. Nobody's serving me, but they have a big tip jar there. And I'm sure, and a lot of times, sometimes I tip, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. If all I'm getting is coffee, I don't tip. Now, in the case of the girl at Einstein's, she's been waiting on me for 2 or 3 years. This year, I felt a little guilty because, you know, I know they don't pay these people that much money at Einstein's. So I did give her an Amazon gift card for Christmas. And I figure maybe that'll make up for all these times I don't put a tip in the jar. But for them to even expect a tip when all they're doing is they're not even handing me a cup. They're just taking my money. I'm supposed to tip somebody for taking my money? Okay, so in my case, it's a little out of control. And that's why I did the little illustration at the beginning of this segment where I said, what if you had to give me a super thanks, or if I expected to get, because basically super thanks is tipping. That's YouTube's way of saying you enjoyed the video, you got some value from the video. Maybe I showed you how to install an accessory and it saved you a time or saved you some money or something. And so you're going to throw me a bone. Okay. But what if I expected it? What if I kept telling you up front, do that before you watch it? See, I even forget super thanks is even there, honestly. However, many of you have been very, very kind and very generous with the super thanks, and you have contributed, and that it helps the channel. Every little bit helps. So they're very appreciated. I was just using that as an illustration. Okay, so let me know in the comments before we get out of here. Let me know in the comments what you think about tipping, and give me some examples of things where you've been expected to tip. And you know, before we get off this topic, I've always wondered why tipping was based, especially at a restaurant, on a percentage of what you spend food-wise. Let's say I go into a restaurant and I order a $20 steak. It doesn't take the waiter or the waitress any more effort to bring a $20 steak to my table than it does a $75 steak. Why is the tip based on how much I'm spending on the food? That makes me want to order cheaper food. Am I the only one that thinks that way? It doesn't take any more effort to bring the food. It's the same amount of weight. Everything's the same. Okay, maybe a 16-ounce ribeye weighs a little more than a 10-ounce ribeye. Okay, okay. I'll give you another example. When we go on a cruise, they have a porter. When you get out of the taxi or the Uber, you have a porter there, and he takes your luggage and puts it on a cart. And it's just customary that you tip the porter. Okay? And I always do. I always give them a 5, or if it's a couple of bags that we're having brought to the room, I'll give them a 10, which I think is more than fair. $5 per bag to lift it from here to here. Okay? But I don't give him a tip based on a percentage of what I paid for the cruise. It doesn't take any more effort for him to take my bag over here, whether I paid $10,000 for the cruise or $1,000 for the cruise. So anyway, okay, we've determined that tipping, number one, is out of control, and that I am old and cheap. We've established that. When we come back, your comments, my reply, or my reactions after this. Welcome back to Cruiseman's Garage. Crown and Comments, December 2023, the last one of the year. And if I don't remember to do it at the end of the show, let me remember now. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, because I won't see you again until 2024. I mean, I'll see you in other videos I do, but not on Crown and Comments, okay? Okay, here we go. First comment is from Glenn Jones. And this is in response to an old video I did where I talked about Darksiding. I think I gave my opinion on Darksiding. He apparently didn't like my opinion. He said, maybe you should put one of these on your own bike before you talk about it, or at least ride someone else's with one. You're just spreading secondhand information both ways. Experience it or be quiet. Okay, well, first of all, if I only talked about things I had experienced, this would be a very, very short segment, a very short show. Okay, so I can still have an opinion on something, even if I haven't tried it. And I have never, ever said anything to condemn anyone, for example, that thinks Darksiding is great. I think if you do it and you like it, fine. I'm all for freedom. I'll let you do whatever you want to do. Just don't personally see an advantage for me to do it. Okay, the next comment is from R. Ramirez. And this is on the CarLink video I did, the CarLink review, CarLink kit review. I've seen your videos connecting the helmets and the CarLink. My question is, can you tell me which is the best installation from scratch? How should it be done? First, iPhone on the motorcycle. Second, passenger pilot. Okay, he's basically asking about the headset interface, how you connect it all up to your either your iPhone or the motorcycle or the CarLink kit, the CarPlay, all that stuff. That's way too complicated to get into here. I am planning a video very soon where I'm going to go through step by step and explain the Bluetooth communications of the Goldwing, how I use it, what has worked best for me. But it is a little confusing because the way the headsets refer to things are different than what you might think. So be patient. Might be a couple of weeks, but I am planning a video. Thank you for that email or that message on a YouTube video, actually. This is from Rachel Burnside. She said, this is on the Remus Sport Exhaust review I did a couple of years ago. All Goldwings need more exhaust note. Do you have a video on replacing the ignition switch on a 2012 to 2017? Rachel, I do not have a video on that. That gets a little more into what I would call a repair. I tend to focus more on general maintenance, just maintaining the bike. I don't really get into repair videos, like how to tear down an engine and all that. Partly because the audience for that is very limited. So not many people would watch a video like that because it doesn't happen that often. But I do not have a video on that. I would recommend the Honda service manual. It would tell you how to replace that ignition switch. And I doubt that it's a super intensive thing. I would think anybody could probably do it. Okay, I'm not going to attempt this name. Blue LLC, there we go. Can you do a review on the new GE washer and dryer combo unit or the new LG stoves? Now, I don't get messages like that very often or comments like that. If I did do a review on that washer dryer combo, and I have watched videos on it, I do think it's pretty cool. And in fact, if we ever replace our washer and dryer, we may end up getting one of those. I do like the idea. As far as doing a review of it, I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid half of my subscribers would cancel because they get really upset when I talk about anything that's not motorcycle related. How can I relate that to motorcycles? Let me think about that. Certainly not the new LG stoves. We're pretty happy with our Viking gas range, and so I'm not interested in that. Anyway, thanks for the message or the comment. Let's go on to Eric Lugo. How are you doing, Cruiseman? Doing fine. Thanks for asking. My name is Hollywood. Oh, okay. I left you a previous message on a different topic, but I'm watching a video on the hill assist. Oh, he's basically asking what kind of gasoline to use. I live in Florida, so we have a racetrack, 7-Eleven. On my current bike, I always try to go to racetrack. I think he means racetrack gas stations. We have racetrack here as well in Texas. Don't know which. I think he's asking me which brand of gasoline is best. I've never noticed a difference really with any of them. So if any of you have comments, if you have thoughts on this, put it in the comments down below. I used to have a friend many, many years ago back in West Texas, and he drove a tanker, gasoline tanker from one gas station to the next. And he swore to me that they'd fill his tanker up at the yard, and he would go around to Shell and to Exxon and to 7-Eleven, that it was everybody was getting the same gas. Like it didn't make any difference. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Maybe somebody out there in the audience knows that. Maybe you drove a tanker or you know that what I'm trying to say. Put it in the comments down below. Much appreciated. Okay, William said, turn the light. He's talking about the brake free, which I ride with. Every time I ride, I always turn on my brake free helmet light. I think it's one of the best safety devices there is. But he says, turn the light on, then put the helmet on your head. Seriously? Should you really be riding a motorcycle with such little common sense? So, in William's opinion, if you ride with a light on your helmet that makes you more visible to traffic coming up behind you, and it lets them know when you're slowing down or coming to a stop, he thinks you don't have any common sense for doing that. I think it'd be just the opposite. I think common sense says you want to be as visible as you possibly can be. So I'm a big believer in the brake free, as many of you know. In fact, I'm even now an affiliate of theirs. And if you use the link in the description of this video, you'll save $10 when you buy a brake free. So I'm a big believer in Break Free. I'm actually going to try to get one of the founders of Break Free to be a guest on the show in the future. So what do you think of that? What do you think about me bringing some guests in and interviewing some people in the motorcycle industry? Would you like that kind of content? Because that's something I'm seriously considering. This is on an old review I did of the FOBO TPMS sensors that go on your valve stems. He says, just installed my FOBO Bike 2 on my 2019 Goldwing B since it only gives me a light, but not the tire pressures. Can't believe Honda did that. Right away, very impressed with the reading on the app compared to what I got on my gauge just prior to installation. So he's saying the FOBO app tire pressure that is showing on his app is very close to when he took his tire pressure manually through the valve stem. Thanks for the review. I took the plunge. Okay. I like the FOBO. I don't need it on the 2018 Goldwing because it has a good tire pressure system. I wish it showed front and rear tire at the same time. You didn't have to take your eyes or your hand off the handlebar to hit the button to see rear compared to front. But I do still use the FOBO TPMS for my Bushtec trailer. So when I'm pulling the trailer, I can monitor my tire pressure using the FOBO TPMS sensors on the valve stems on the Bushtec trailer. So I still do use the FOBO. This is the Sena Meshport Red video I did recently. He says, could I pair my Cardo Bold or Edge to it? Looking for an easy way to communicate with Sena users. I don't know. My gut says no, but I can't say that because I haven't tried it. It's possible. It's possible since the Meshport Red has Bluetooth 4.1, possibly you could pair that mesh port to your Cardo. I've got a Cardo. I can test it. I can see if it will pair. If it will pair, then I'm assuming it would work. Yes. Okay, this is for Dana Zalajeski. This is another Meshport Red comment. One of these years, it'd be nice to see mesh technology go to a standard where anyone could connect with whatever headset one chooses to purchase, just like Bluetooth has gone to a standard. You know, I agree. I think it would be great if Cardo users and Sena users could all kumbaya, live in this world where their mesh products all work together perfectly. You're saying that exists in Bluetooth world. We had problems getting Sena Bluetooth to connect to other Cardo Bluetooth headsets in the past. Maybe that's been resolved in some of the newer firmware releases. They say it has. I haven't tried it. Maybe I should try it. So, but I'll take your word for it. Let's say you can do that with Bluetooth. It would be nice if mesh were the same way, where it could all be universal, not proprietary to a specific brand. Anyway, that is the last comment of the night. Again, I want to remind you, oh, by the way, real quick note, Shadow Wing patches, also Shadow Bagger patches, are now available on the merchandise site, shop.cruisemansgarage.com, and Shadow Wing stickers. You got stickers, got some Cruiseman's Garage stickers, Shadow Wing stickers. Check them out if you're interested. Also, a couple of new t-shirt designs up there. Let me know what other apparel products or things you'd be interested in with the Shadow Wing and Shadow Bagger design. I know Robert ordered one of these patches, and it is an iron-on patch. I didn't know that. You can sew it on or you can iron it on. He actually ironed it onto the back of his riding jacket, and it looked pretty cool. So maybe I'll do that with my yellow riding jacket. So anyway, thanks for joining me. If you liked this video, I want to tell you again how important it is that you take 1 second of your life and click that little thumbs up button, because the more likes the video gets, the more likely it is YouTube will share this video to the general audience, not just my subscribers, but people out there that might be interested in the same things. And nothing trips the algorithm more than those little thumbs up. The more likes, the better. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you next month, next year. Until then, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. And remember, ride often, but ride safe.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time.